absolutely important to land a job in this country. There are two kinds of jobs in UK.
Sort of, yeah, companies in the UK, you got offers from them. So
Graduate scheme is a structured training program which
thing is very, very important for everyone about the salary. What sort of salary range actually for the graduate scheme? I mean, the
Success is the culmination of hard work, perseverance, and a bit of luck. Finding a sponsored job in the UK is one of the most challenging milestones a student can face. In this episode, I have invited a graduate who has successfully landed 4 offers simultaneously from the UK top companies. How he cracked one of the toughest fear of the students. We will find out in this video. So without further ado, let's get started.
the first question I generally ask from the guest here about your background, and it's just to ensure that everyone can, I mean, the audience can relate to yourself, and you are not from the chosen one, and you are one of amongst us. So I would just give you opportunity actually to briefly introduce yourself, and before we take on further questions.
Okay. My name is Anshul, and recently I finished my MSc degree from University of Birmingham, and my area of specialization is road management and engineering. Basically, it's a highway-related course. And before joining this course, I completed my undergrad and master's degree from India in the civil engineering, and I worked around 4 years as a lecturer, and that's all.
Uh, that's quite brief, but actually, one thing before we start into some of the questions, generally, I mean that they're quite common question from most of the graduates here in the UK. You actually the subject, I mean, you're chosen like the highways and transportation and basically the highway sort of stuff. Not really common sort of subjects generally. Actually, the student actually go for that. So, what was
Mhm.
the reason behind actually going for the highways actually?
Uh, to be honest, before joining this course, I completed my master's degree from India, and that master's degree was in highway engineering. So I have a connection with the highway engineering earlier in my background. And when I was teaching after completing my master's in India, I was teaching mainly transport related courses. So based upon my background and my interest, I thought to join some transport related course. So that is why I was very much clear about my course selection.
Oh, so you were clear in your mind beforehand, basically, this is where my focus is, and I have to go into the sort of, yeah, highways and transportation. Obviously, I mean, looking at your sort of background, I mean, you had quite a bit of experience in the lectureship, or yeah, professor. You were tutoring that as well, and it's the same subject. So you had quite a bit of experience in that sort of side, and you, by looks of it, 3 4 years experience, you were quite settled in that field. What made you actually to make that transition from that lectureship to basically do MSc in the UK?
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, when I was working as a lecturer, I found out that uh, the in the lectureship you are more inclined towards teaching, and it's more theoretical from my perspective. And during my stint at as a lecturer, I found out that I should work in industry so that I can see practically how things happen on the ground. And this motivated me to switch my career from academia to industry. And once I started thinking about this process, I start searching about the, some good courses which can give me some practical knowledge and skills so that I can start my career in industry. So I researched about some universities in UK which is offering transport related courses. And in the transport engineering, I was also mainly focused on the highway sector. So the course which I chosen is basically focused upon the road sector. So, and I think University of Birmingham is specifically providing the course which is related to the roads sector. So that is why I am came to this course.
Oh, that's really good. Like, I mean, that's one of the factor actually I generally discuss and pass on to the graduates as well. You need to have really a clear mindset beforehand, actually, before coming to the UK or choosing your your university or your course. So as long as you have that sort of vision, I have to go in that sort of side, then it make a lot easier, actually a lot clear your future as well. And exactly, I mean, what you explained, I mean, you have a similar experience you had from India as well, and you were quite clear in that sense. And it made your path quite clear, actually, your ambitions, I mean, what you're coming to the UK for. And actually that made, obviously it make a sense now, basically, from India, that you had a bit of a background there, and then you came straight, I mean, to find exactly the same niche here. And that's where you get the success, I suppose, rather than basically changing from one to the other sort of subjects, which is no relevancy. And that's one of the, actually, quite a lot of students, I mean, they do some different subjects from their background, and then they choose something which is completely out of their context, and they're
Yes,
struggling, actually, when
correct.
it comes to basically, yeah, getting the job, in the market, obviously without any background, without any knowledge. So they are struggling in that sense. So what you gonna advise, actually, to those sort of, yeah, students who completely actually ignore what they have studied, what they have experienced back home, and they come completely to a different sort of, yeah, context, I mean, to the UK?
To be honest, before coming to UK or any other country, I think our mindset should be very clear. Okay, many students I have seen, they just come for to study abroad just for the sake of study, that they want to study in the foreign country and get an international degree. I think the life in India, or whether you go anywhere, the success, the secret of success is same everywhere. I don't think so. It's a different. And I believe when you came to this country, firstly, focus on your interest, where you are going to land yourself in the future. Don't think just we are coming to UK or any other country, you will get the job easily. I think the interest and your passion and your previous experience and knowledge, everything counts when you search for your job. So that is how. And I think if you land in a wrong course which you don't like, actually, I'm sure about you will definitely going to struggle in the course. And consequently, what will happen, the outcome will be your results will not be good, and definitely you are not able to get a good job, especially the sponsorship job. It is very difficult. So to be honest, I will suggest, before coming to UK, choose your course very wisely. Don't come under the, some agents are there, they recommend you some courses. Choose your course by your interest, and look at your skill set and your knowledge, and then choose your course. And it's not like that. Many people think this course is have more sponsorship jobs, so I can opt for that particular course. I think this is not the way. Every course has their some good points. So if you are good in that particular course, you can definitely get a good job. That's my advice to students.
Oh, that's really positive, Anshul. Actually, one thing you mentioned about, yeah, generally the students, actually, they look at, yeah, what are the, basically, the scope of the subject, rather than looking at their interests. So they're just going by that sort of trend, basically. This is the subject, I mean, they go more sort of, yeah, sponsored jobs, so they should go into that sort of side, and
Correct.
completely
Correct.
ignoring basically their background, their, yeah, what their interest is. And
Correct.
exactly what you elaborated there, basically, that should look at the interest. And as long, I mean, they are good at basically achieve their grades, I mean, here in the UK, and I'm sure if they have a bit of a skills and competency, they can achieve the success here, as you said there. Right, Anshum, this leads me to another question. Like, I mean, obviously, I mean, transition from overseas to the UK is obviously a culture shock. Is any particularly issues or factors you want to share for those? I mean, they going through the same sort of phase, basically looking into coming to the UK. What sort of issues, I mean, you would share, and any sort of, yeah, they should consider beforehand, actually, when transition to the
uh,
UK.
I think when you coming from any country to UK, I think there are some factors in your personal and professional life. They're going to be changed. The first thing is, if you look at the first, your task is education. So from the educational perspective, I found out the education system of UK is quite different, especially our Asian country education system. They are more, practical and more assignment based question and system is there. So you need to and there is a more focus on learning rather than cramming the things. So I think this is the first important factor, because many students I found out they are not good in report writing. They don't know how to write precisely and to on the point, and we don't have experience of referencing, and a lot of other things are things especially related to report writing. And I found out a lot of international students struggle in this scenario, and they don't know how to write the assignment. And I found out some students try to copy as well, and try to make some external help they take to make complete their assignment. I think the best way is, the good point of UK is, they I think most of the university, they have their academic skill center, which basically provide guidance and material for report writing or any academic help which you need to to do your assignment or your coursework. So I think you should take the advantage of that thing, so that you can learn properly and you can deliver good result for your course. And personal point of view, I think yes, absolutely, I agree with you. There is a lot of cultural shock. Although I would say I'm a mature student, but still I face some some changes. Is there? There are a lot of changes, because especially I will advise that when you come to UK, you get complete freedom. I think so, and but apart from the freedom, you have a lot of responsibility of yourself, like, because you need to manage your time with your study, your cooking, and your your daily activities. And some many students do the part-time job as well, so you need to effective time management is absolutely necessary. So it takes a time, but I think while coming to UK, you should focus only, I think initially you should focus on your academics, how you are going to how you are going to excel in your studies. You need to find out the way. And second thing is, you need to manage your personal life by effective time management, by organizing your activity. Don't waste your time on other things, because once you finish your course, you have enough time to enjoy the other aspects of the country as well.
Oh, that's really useful insight, actually. The whole sort of scenario you have clear there.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on to obviously the important topic generally about the jobs. So I can see, I mean, your completion was September 2022. That's when you completed your MSc.
Yeah.
When is the best time, or in fact, I should say, like, when did you start actually applying for the jobs?
Yeah, to be honest, I would say I was a bit late, as I should not be, because I was not that much aware about. Because when I landed in September 2021, I was, I was focusing on my course and basically managing my personal life. So I was that time I was not that much focused about the job application. But according to me, which I learned over the period of time, I think any student who come in September or January intake, whenever they come, as soon as they land, I think they should start working on their job application. So they should start preparing their CV, cover letter, and start applying for job. They should not think that our course is not started, so how can we can apply. I think they should not think, because I found out a lot after talking a lot of students. They think we should apply after once we finish our course. And but I think this is the wrong approach. And because of this thing, you will waste a lot of time of you. So the smart approach, I would say, that you should start applying once you landed in the country, and start working on your CV and application, and get some experience as well, even though you don't select, but you get some sort of experience, so that in the future you can improve yourself, and you can get a good job at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really useful, Anshul, and I can relate myself to that as well. I like it, like my background when I came here, I start quite early, and in fact, yeah, I had the opportunity actually to get the offers even when I was actually studying at that time as well. So it's always actually, I mean, important. I mean, to start looking, as you said, I mean, quite early, and that give you exposure actually just to understand, yeah, the system here, how the system works. So by the time you complete your degree, and actually it become quite easy actually to get into the market. So well said there. um so obviously, I mean, when you apply for the job, there are certain factors. I mean, you consider like your CV, your skills, your competency to match the recruiter or the employment requirements. So, how did you manage actually? How did you choose that I need to apply for these jobs? How did you manage to update your CV? Was it that's just one of basically CV and you apply everything, or it was basically all the time? You would look at the job specification and you would update your CV accordingly and then apply. How was your strategy for that?
I think this is a very good question, and I found out this is absolutely important to land a job in this country, because I believe whenever you apply for a job, I think you should firstly see your skill set and the requirement of the job. That means you should read job description very carefully. And to be honest, reading means you should know, understand the meaning of the words they use, how they are, what they mean to say about it. And for this, I think not only you see the job, you should see the job description. You should also see the the projects the company doing currently in that particular segment. So that will give you a deep insight about how the project is working and what sort of things they are looking in a candidate, and based upon their requirement and your skill set as well. Like you need to you need to change some tweaking your words, you need to change your CV according to that particular requirement. It's absolutely, you should not tell a lie over there. I'm not saying that you should tell a lie, but you should change your, you should customize your CV according to the particular requirement of the job. And I think that will help you a lot getting a call for the interview or other things, I think so.
Right. So how did you manage? Obviously, just going back, basically, when you start applied, I mean, for your first few jobs, basically, how did you manage basically with your CV straight away? You got calls, or like I mean, or you gone through some iteration basically with your CV?
Basically, from my experience, what I've done, firstly, I make a targeted application. That means I decided in which area I'm going to apply. Because to be honest, I see what is my degree is providing me, like what skills and knowledge is my degree is providing me. And I try to understand in which areas I can apply my job, basically. So I find out what are the job segments, and then from different job application portal, I found out what are the common competencies they are looking for actually. And for example, in most of the job application, the common competency is you should be collaborative, the good communication skill, the presentation skill, good knowledge of softwares, like especially the common software like MS Office project and
Mhm.
AutoCAD, some different, like some common softwares. And you have some problem solving skills. So these are the some common competency I observe while applying for job, and I try to inculcate like those competencies while I was pursuing my course. So I was trying to develop those abilities in myself. Like for instance, when you are in university, many universities provide you opportunity to work in the group for your assignment.
Yeah.
Group project is there. So at that time, I think you should look that opportunity to work as a part of team, which you could mention while when you're applying for a job. You can discuss about those things, like how you work collaboratively, or you can discuss about your reports which you work as a coursework. So that can make you like a presentation and written report writing skills. And many times you need to give presentation as well during your coursework. So you can discuss those aspects, and you can you can make those things include in your CV, not directly, but you can mention about some aspects. Because to be honest, when you prepare your CV and other things, try to give the evidence for that, rather than just mentioning you done this. Try to relate how you get that that skill set. So they are more interested towards your how you grab those things. So make it like this. That's what I would say.
No, that's really useful, insightful. There, but what I gather from that response, that I mean, it's not like a directly you finish your course and just start applying. Obviously, it's quite a progressive sort of, yeah.
Right.
Basically, from basically gaining all those knowledge which you're going through your MSc sort of course, and all the group works or the assignments you're doing, you need to ensure, yeah, get all those knowledge and gather them, and basically that adds value to your CV as well, and
Right.
obviously ultimately helping you in your
Right.
interview sort of stage as
Right.
well.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So how did you prepare actually for the interview? Obviously, I mean, you got a call and then you going for the interview. So what sort of stage you have gone through actually in your case?
Uh, to be honest, I would like to explain the process of what happens. There are two kinds of jobs in UK. One is a graduate scheme, another is a graduate job. So I applied for graduate scheme. Mostly, I applied for the graduate scheme. So first of all, you need to understand what is a graduate scheme. Graduate scheme is a structured training program which any company they advertise on yearly basis. That typically starts in September every year. Most of the companies. So it is a structured training program which lasts for 2 to 3 years, depend upon the company you join. So in a graduate scheme, the application process is quite, it takes time, but you need to pursue it. So the first stage is your online application. The company advertise their job application on their portal, and most of the company they advertise between September to December. So this is the time frame most of the company they advertise. Although after that, some of the companies also are extending their dates, but this is the first step is online application. And in the online application, apart from your basic details, some companies they ask you some motivation related question as well. So you need to give their answers properly, and you need to like prepare those answers like in a professional manner, I would say. And the second stage, once your CV, your application is accepted by the company, they will call you for the psychometric test. So psychometric test is a written test. Basically, typically in a psychometric test, there are three types of section involved. One is the situational judgment test, which is normally called as SJT test, in which you have given some sort of practical work related scenarios, and you need to give the answer based upon the option which is you given, depending upon your thought process and approach. And second test is written test is your numerical ability test, where they check your basic mathematical skills. And third is logical comprehension skills. So and that is basically you need to understand some information they provide you, and they ask you some question, and then you need to identify the answer. So basically it tells about your comprehension ability. And once you clear that stage, the next stage is stage three is they call you for the video interview round. And the video interview is most of the cases I found out there they are the mostly recorded video interview. So in the recorded video interview, it lasts typically 10 to 20 minutes, depend upon the number of questions. So in that process, they basically ask you, there will be some question will be flashed on the screen, and you need to record those answers. And normally they have some time frame for each question. And the question is basically general question. Basically it's related to your motivation to apply for that particular job, why you apply for the job, and why you want to join that company, and your basic skills and knowledge and interest. So this is basically about the video interview stage. And the last stage is the most comprehensive stage. That is there is assessment center, which we normally people know it interview. So that is assessment center. Typically the graduate scheme they invite you for assessment center. It can be virtually, or it can be on their office or in any hotel. They normally schedule this kind of thing. So assessment center is a day-long activity. Generally, it starts from the morning, early morning, 9 o'clock, and typically it ends around 3 or 4 o'clock. So in the assessment center, typically I would say three kinds of activity happen. The first thing is I would say the group activity. The group activity is basically they basically want to judge how collaborative you are, how like your problem solving skills, your communication skills, collaboration, a lot of other skills they like to see in your personality. So in the group activity, there are basically three kinds of activity which normally happens in a UK employer. The first is your like some kind of group discussion. They will give you a topic. They will give you some time to prepare your notes, and then you need to discuss with your friends along with you who are invited for the assessment center. And the second activity is a role play activity. In this, they will give you some hypothetical situation, and they will divide you in a team, and every person has to work at will be given, they will be allocated a certain position or task, and then they need to discuss like they are the part of team, and they how they will going to achieve their objective based upon the activities what they are sort of they are seeking for. And the last kind of activity is basically like problem solving activities. Basically they see your coordination and problem solving skills, and it's basically like they give you some material, and you need to prepare some structure or some sort of some kind of thing you need to do. So they basically like to see, the objective is not to complete the activity, the objective is how you collaborate, how you put the idea to solve that particular problem. Because many activities they give you, they are intentionally very hard, which is not practically possible to complete in that particular time frame. So basically they just want to see how you handle the pressure, how you take the how you deal with your colleagues, how you discuss the problem, this sort of thing basically they like to see in the group activity. And the second phase of assessment center is sometimes they ask you for presentation. So presentation is basically normally I observe that two kinds of approaches presentation. Sometimes they told the candidates in advance before appearing for the assessment center. They give you some certain topic, and you need to prepare some 5 to 10 minute presentation, and you need to present it in front of the audience, 3 to 4 people, and just like that. And there after that the question and answer will be there. And sometimes they give you some random topic on the spot, and they give you time to prepare for that particular topic. And at the end of the day, or in between, whenever they suggest you time, you need to present in front of the examiners, and then they will ask you some certain questions. So basically they want to see your communication skill, your problem solving skills, and your understanding about the company, or it can be your knowledge about the subject, it can be anything. So basically they want to see. And the last and most important phase is your personal interview. So personal interview is taken by the 2 or 3 members of the company who will interview you. And typically a interview lasts for 1 hour. Generally it takes 50 to 60 minutes. Approximately it lasts for 1 hour. And normally the interview was divided into two segments. One is they ask you some competency based question or situation based question, in which basically they will try to judge your motivation to join their company, your knowledge about the job role, and your skill set, like how you worked in the past, like your problem solving skills, your collaboration skills, your communication skills. So they give you some hypothetical situation, and maybe they can ask you in the past how when you perform this sort of things. So they will basically try to get an insight of your personality, like what you tell in the CV on the previous occasion, how you are actually. So they'd like to see it. And the last portion is your technical knowledge. Basically, they like to check some technical knowledge about the subject, which is basically related to the job requirement. So that is not too hard actually. I think they ask you some fundamental question. If you are good in that thing, so I would say you will do absolutely fine over there. And apart from this, I would suggest if you are looking for civil engineering graduate role, you should focus on the sustainability, because sustainability is a more sort of the topic in the civil engineering right now. So you should have a good understanding about the sustainability. So that's all. I think once you finish this thing, then after a week or 2 weeks, they give you timeline and they give you result about your job offer.
Obviously, I mean, you explain from top to bottom. Anyone, I mean, actually watching this, I'm sure that they got the whole sort of picture, actually, where to start and where you end up. But obviously, it's quite intense, sort of, yeah. Like, I mean, just listening to your service, it's quite intense sort of procedure there. But one question actually that arises from there, you mentioned about the graduate scheme and the graduate jobs. So obviously, why have you chosen to go for graduate scheme rather than going directly to graduate jobs?
To be honest, I think graduate scheme is more structured training program
Yeah.
basically. So it is basically a training program which is designed for according to the requirement of the role. So basically, typically in graduate scheme, what happens? A candidate is rotated in across all the departments of the company, and they get a good understanding of about how the company works, what are the projects they are going to, and they going, they like to get and they get the opportunity to work in different departments. So when what happens when you work in different departments, you can identify where your interest is lying, and then later on, by help of your seniors or your line manager, you can proceed in that particular area after finishing your graduate scheme. So I think graduate scheme is a very good opportunity as compared to graduate job, I think so.
Now, I will definitely vouch that in terms of the like graduate schemes, obviously in my personal experience as well, like I mean the graduate go from one discipline to the other. They spend about 6 months to a year basically just rotating
Right.
themselves and get the overall the whole life cycle of the project basically just to understand the different disciplines all over and make it basically a full accomplished by end of the scheme basically you are fully accomplished engineer basically that's what
Right.
you make it.
Right.
So
Right.
absolutely, yeah, I can see, yeah, that there is a hard work actually from start to the end, but obviously there is a reward definitely, I mean, going for the scheme there.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Right, so Anshu, my next question is how many actually job application you have made in total, just count, give me a number, and how many offers did you receive?
To be honest, I didn't apply too many jobs because
Right.
as opposite to the common perception among students, like you need to apply hundreds of jobs. I think this is not true, according to me. The application should be a quality application. That is more important. And I applied almost just 50 jobs. I applied for 50 jobs maximum. I would say 40 to 50 jobs I applied.
Hmm.
But all the 40 and 50 jobs, they are very targeted, which is matching with my skills and the job requirement, the area where I want to work. So basically, I was not focused on the quantity of application. I was focused on the quality of application. And I think among I applied 40 to 50 jobs. I appeared almost 10 in. I got opportunity to get the final stage of interview, or almost 10 places. I got the opportunity out of 40 application, 40 to 50. Roughly, I appeared in 10 interviews, and out of 10 interviews, I got almost 4 job offers. So in the finally, so I think that's how. And I think the quality of application is more important than the quantity of application.
Well, that's definitely showing there. It's the quality rather than the quantity, basically. So you need to just gauge yourself there. So you go obviously from the top sort of yeah companies in the UK. You got offers from them. So how did you actually did you targeted that specifically those sort of yeah the companies? I mean, like yeah the top sort of yeah UK companies because what you shared. I mean, like the sort of Highway England and basically yeah the Kia and all the others basically that they are the top rank actually companies. So
Right,
did you
right.
specifically target them?
Yes, I think I would like to tell everyone, like when I came to this place, I researched about what are the major companies who are working in my sector. So I downloaded the list of the companies, like top 100 companies in the UK construction sector. And then I, one by one, I go to their website, I understand their project. Like I do a lot of research about these things. And then I prepared a list of companies where I definitely like to apply. And then I keeping an eye continuously when they are releasing their job advertisement, and then I apply on their portal web application. So that's how my strategy is like that. And apart from that, not only those companies, some other companies. Meanwhile, if I get come to know some other companies as well, and I found the opportunity is suitable, so I applied there as well.
No, that is really a good strategy. Basically, you had a clear mindset, a clear plan. Actually, this is where I'm going towards, and of course, I mean that shows up as well. Basically, you got offers from the top sort of yeah the companies out there as well. So,
Mhm.
how did you choose? Actually, obviously, you had the offers, three, four different offers. How did you choose? I mean, one is better than the other. I mean, it must be really a tough decision in that sense.
Definitely, yeah. To be honest, it's very, very difficult decision for me because the offers which I got, they all from the they are all the top companies, and they are very competitive, I would say, and they're offering good salary, good rewards. Everything is there, but among them to choose which one is best is really challenging for me. But finally, based upon my I make some criteria, which basically when I need to choose which one is good for me. So although every job was excellent, I would say, but finally I need to do work at one place, so I decided to make a criteria, like what criteria I am going to, and then I give a marking to each company, like on the scale of 10, where they're lying, and the company which is getting highest points in my table, so I given them the first choice. For instance, I when I choose, the first thing I check is the career, career
Progression.
progression.
Yeah.
Like, yes, how the career opportunities are there. So the first criteria is uh, how diverse is the work culture, and in what, like how different projects, number of projects I'm going to work, and different clients I'm going to work. So these sort of things, because if I will work in different types of projects and different types of clients, it will enhance my knowledge, and as a professional it will groom me. So the first thing is I see which company is giving me a diverse set of projects and client bases. So the first criteria is this one. And the second thing, definitely salary is also a very important factor. So salary is also, but all the companies paying very good salary. There was not a much difference, I would say, between one salaries between different company. And third thing, of course, as I'm international student, so sponsorship is also very important for me.
Yes.
So the company which is offering me sponsorship, definitely I would like to go. But definitely I would say, don't just go for a sponsorship. See the future perspective as well, because if you think the other company is offering you more diverse, like I said, you to more diverse set of projects, definitely if you have experience of 2 years on graduate visa, you can switch on the later on your skilled worker visa. That's not a problem at all. So the third thing I see this one, and apart from that, I would say like development opportunities. What are the development opportunities? Like many companies, they like to give you link to work toward your chartership, and the chartership you need to work. And apart from that, for your professional and personal development, like what are the continuous professional development program they are running, what kind of internal training programs they are offering. And apart from that, I see the flexibility to work, because some companies, they like to give you hybrid work flexibility, so that will give you a lot of personal space as well, so your work life balance is also there. So these sort of things I see while choosing my job offer, which I need to go through on it.
No, that's really good. Obviously, I mean, someone have a choice actually to choose from that. That's really you were in really on the front foot. Basically, you had the choice. I
Mhm.
mean, to choose from the top companies, of course. Most important factors for I mean, like for the graduates, especially, is the
Mhm.
money. Basically, how much salary that should expect. So, from your experience, obviously, you're going through the process. What is the salary range actually for the graduates? I mean, they are offering.
Typically, I would say the graduate can earn between 26,000 pounds to 32,000 pounds, roughly. It is a typical range. It's a broad range, but typically, most of the company, they offer you 26, 28, 29. This is the range actually.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's a good salary. Obviously, if I recall my personal, obviously it was a long time ago. So I had actually I started my actually the graduate role on 19,000. So just imagine, I mean, how much the industry grows. I mean, since, but obviously, I mean, you talk the whole process. I mean, the from start to the end, how actually you get involved. How did you go through the process? Now, I would like you to actually your three top most important factor. Actually, the someone. I mean, they going through the same now. Basically, the process now at the moment. What are the three most important factors they need to consider actually to get the job in the UK?
Okay. So if I talk about any student who is working towards getting a job and like that, the first thing is you should choose your course very wisely. Okay, you should select your you should, before joining your MSc or bachelor's program, you should check the modules which you are going to study in that course, because that module is will be, the paving path for your success in getting your job. So firstly, choose your course very wisely and see the course module in detail. Okay, what are the things you're going to learn over there? And second thing is, once you landed in the UK, immediately start working on your CV and cover letter. Do not wait for your complete your degree. Just start working on that thing and start applying for the jobs in your relevant field. Don't think that you're getting a job. Just think like it's like a practice for you. You're getting an idea about the industry so that you can improve yourself. And third thing is, I would recommend to all students that please focus on your study very seriously, because especially I think civil engineering course is a very intense course. I don't think so. And my course was very intense, I would say. So I would say please take your study very seriously, because the mostly the master's program is a 1 year program only. So you have a very less time, and you have a very less time. In that period of time, you need to, you need to focus on the skills and knowledge which is help you to get the long term job, like your permanent job. So focus on those aspects. And I would say, I would through your channel, I would say to all the students, please do not come in the trap of part-time job. Okay, because I believe, yes, of course some people have some financial liability, I understand that thing, but please, your always keep your target should be your study. Okay, do not deviate from your study and your developing your skills. Part-time job is a secondary always. If you are able to manage your time with your part study, then it's perfectly fine. But if you think you are not able to manage your study with your part-time job, please focus on your study, leave that particular job. After 1 year completion, you have a lot of opportunities. So that's my suggestion to students.
No, very, very well said. Actually, just to summarize the top three. So the actually choose your course wisely. I mean, that's the first
Mhm.
thing, and
Correct.
then obviously concentrate on your studies. I mean, don't compromise your studies. And the third one, obviously, work on your CV and start applying as early as possible. So
Of
that are
course.
the three.
Right.
Right. So how would you describe your overall experience so far in the UK?
I would say my experience in the UK was amazing, and my journey was a lot of ups and downs was there in journey, of course. But to be honest, if I summarize an overall experience, it was a huge learning experience for me. I learned many skills, knowledge, and apart from that, after coming in UK, I got a opportunity to have a friendship and work with the diverse culture of people. So I come to understand how different people works in the world, and that is a something unique experience for me, which I'm not getting in India. So here, I think this is the excellent opportunity for me, and I would say to all of the coming students, try to mix up with the other community people as well, so that your mind, you get a broad thinking and your skill can be widened. Because to be honest, I have a lot of British friends. So from with the help of those friends, I understand how the British culture works, how the British industry works, how the British people thinks. So it helped me a lot to land a job. This is not direct impact, but indirectly it help you, getting that sort of things. So I think this is an amazing journey until now.
That's really nice actually to hear that. I mean, obviously we almost. I mean, every time you heard, I mean, they had a bad experience here and there, but obviously, like I mean, hearing your personal experience, I mean, so far, so that's really genuine. I mean, you're sharing here. Finally, Anshul, I would ask you any advice, obviously, to the youngsters who's embarking on the student journey, actually from overseas to the UK. So, what is your advice? I mean, to them. I mean, starting obviously, someone starting now the process to come to the UK for studies. So, what would be your advice actually to them?
To be honest, as I discussed with you earlier as well, I think the major course is, I would say, your mindset is very important, because you should have a positive mindset in your you should come with a positive mindset. Okay, that means you should choose your course properly and have a commitment towards your study, that you will study with you will give your 100% towards your study and get the excellent result. And for that particular period, you need to devote and dedicate towards your study only. You will not focus any other thing except your study and developing your skill set, which will help you to the long term gain. So I would suggest, think about the long term gain, not about the short term gain. That's my suggestion.
That's brilliant. Anshul, it's been a pleasure speaking to yourself. And obviously, I mean, lots of the audience, I mean, they're going to hear all your experience. You explain actually really basically excellently, I mean, from start to the end, basically to the end, the whole process. And I'm sure, I mean, that's where, yeah, most of the worries comes actually. They don't know, I mean, where they're going towards. So just listening to this side of conversation, actually what they would experience in the future, give them a bit of a confidence there. And I'm sure, I mean, it's going to help quite a lot of people out there. So I'm sure they're going to like, I mean, this conversation. And obviously for the audience as well, if you've got any questions, anything, feel free actually to throw them in the comment section. So I always get in touch with Anshul. I can get back to yourself, and directly you can get in touch with Anshul as well. I mean, it's not a big deal there. But Anshul, it's been a pleasure. And obviously you always encouraged me actually to share your experience with the audience as well. So it's really, really nice actually to see the people and actually the students like yourself. I mean, they are able to share actually their experience with the future aspirant actually students coming over. Obviously, you're going through the process, you know the process now, and obviously you had the same fear, the same sort of culture shock, sort of, yeah, you experienced. And now actually the one actually they are at home, they're watching this, and they're looking actually just absorbing this actually this conversation. They have a bit of a confidence, at least, I mean, they know actually what they have to face actually in the UK.
Right.
So
Right.
this is really useful. And again, actually, thank you very much, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this platform.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.